Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a wear test on the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Fresh Makeup with Broad Spectrum SPF 30, and I have been using this for a while now, so I know how it performs. I just thought that I would put it on camera and then do check-ins for you throughout the day. I do have an opinion on it. You know, normally with foundations I don't like giving like a first impression. I prefer wearing it for a while and then giving a review of the foundation. So that's what I'm going to do, but I am also going to do a wear test throughout the day, you know, do check-ins. It's going to be a hectic day of meetings though, all day long, so we shall see how this holds up throughout one of my normal days. Starting out with my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer, and it's this little guy right here. This is the primer that I've been using. I'm going to go ahead and stick with what I've been doing. I'm not going to deviate from that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get going. I already put some on my finger and just going to zip through putting on my primer. It says shake well, and by the way, I'm in the shade 5W1 Bronze. It isn't a 100% match, but it was the one that was closest. Normally, I tend to be more of a neutral skin tone, but this one does work for me. So I'm okay with it being slightly warm because it is a pretty good match though. And as you can see, the foundation is pretty watery. It's running down my hand here. I really do wish that Estee Lauder would start putting pumps on their foundations. I don't understand why companies don't do that when, you know, the customer feedback has always been a pump. That's awesome. But whatever. I'm not mad at it for that at all. That's like a little wish list for me. And that little bit was plenty to get through, you know, around my face. So gonna take the excess. I do still have some here, but I'm gonna take the excess with my Artiste brush. And again, not deviating from anything that I normally use. This is my go-to. I got wrinkles from sleeping. I must have been sleeping pretty hard last night. Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy day. I've got 2 really long meetings today. And I tend to touch my face during the day, so we'll see if I can keep myself from doing that. Now, the finish of this foundation is dewy, and I'm not exactly a fan of that. I don't normally like looking dewy. I prefer having a satin finish. So that's one thing about this foundation that I would say, that if you don't like dewy foundations, you may have to use a powder that will help to mattify it. But it does go on very well. It goes on very easily. It is a medium coverage foundation. I'm not going to go in for extra coverage because actually today it did a really good job of covering up these little veins that I have on my cheek right here. These little broken capillaries that I've got. This little spot here on the side of my nose never goes away. I think I'm going to start looking at something to remove it, you know, to help diminish it, because it is kind of getting on my nerves. But outside of that, it's not going to cover that spot, so I don't have that expectation. My face does look very skin-like with this foundation. I can still see some of my freckles peeking through, but for the most part, it does do a really good job of evening things out. That's what it looks like. Let me go ahead and bring you in a little bit more closer. A little bit more closer. Let me bring you in closer. And there you can see that it is looking very much like my skin. And I love that. That is a trait in a foundation that I really, really do enjoy. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and put on my concealer. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer, and I have Nude Beige. And because this foundation is so warm, you know, it is a warmer tone, I do like to put concealer down on my high points just to kind of help give it a little bit of dimension, you know, to give my face a little bit of dimension and variation so that it looks more like I have bronzed. and it works out. And I like using a lighter concealer. I don't use my Tarte Shape Tape with this foundation. I prefer using the L'Oreal Pro Glow or the Maybelline Fit Me. I wouldn't use a heavier concealer with this just because the foundation coverage is medium. I worry that having a heavier concealer will show up too much, especially at the end of the day. All right, and then like I said, I do have a little bit of a dewy finish. It is dry, it's not tacky, but I do have a little bit of a dewy finish. And the powder that I have absolutely been loving using with this, and this is just to set, I'm not using it 100% in the way it's supposed to be used, is the Urban Decay Velvetizer powder. This is a really, really nice setting powder. I really like it a lot. It is in competition with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, the pressed powder, because this does a really, really good job. It almost does the same thing, but it's a loose powder. It is extremely finely milled. I do have plans on creating a video with using this, mixing it with a foundation to see how it works. That's like a second use that you have for this type of powder. Stay tuned for that because I am going to be doing that, probably shooting that video this weekend. All right, so that's all the face products that I'm going to put on camera. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and I will check in before I head out the door. Here I am, full face of makeup. With this foundation, I find that makeup goes on really, really well. Everything that I have on right now, it will be listed in the description bar down below. I will be checking in a little bit later on. I don't have my phone available here. Okay, so I am pretty much ready to go. And just to show you, I've got my tablet here. It's massive. It is 8:04 a.m. and I'm gonna go and get dressed and get my day started. So I will be checking in later on this afternoon, and yeah, so I will see you guys later. Bye. Hi everyone, and welcome back. So here we are at end of day. It is 6:30 in the evening, as you can tell here on my watch. I don't have my phone with me. It's downstairs in my bag. Doing my check-in. I just got home from work and just wanted to check in and let you guys know how things are going with the foundation. Now, as to be expected, I don't have anything left on my nose. And let me zoom you in just a little bit. I don't have any more foundation really left on my nose, but that's just because I've been scratching at my nose, you know, rubbing my nose and stuff. But the rest of my face, and it would help if I had you guys in focus. So for the rest of my skin, it's all looking pretty good still. I do see that these little veins right here are starting to peek through a little bit more than they were this morning. I still have a lot of foundation left on my skin. What I really, really love about this foundation is the fact that even at the end of the day, I still have highlight. I still have a little bit of my blush and contour. I even have highlight that I placed in on the bridge of my nose up here. This area right here, as you know, is my oily zone, and everything looks really good. I mean, I'm a little bit shiny, but not like crazy. The foundation itself isn't tacky. It's not coming off necessarily. There is a little bit of oil, so if I did blot, I would get something off of my face, but as you can tell, my nose is bare. And that's just because I rub my nose at work. You know, it itches, I sneeze, whatever, I rub my nose. That's kind of normal for me. I still have some on my chin, and yeah, so far I've had this on for, let's see, I checked in at 8 o'clock this morning, so I've had it on for about 10 hours. Yeah, 10 hours, and it's still holding up really, really well. I can't complain. The foundation still looks very good. My concealer, maybe not so much, but the foundation itself is looking really, really nice, and I really like the fact that I can still see some of the makeup on my face, you know, the highlight, the blush, all of that stuff. So anyway, I will check in one more time before I go to bed, but right now we are at the 10-hour mark, and the foundation for the most part is still going pretty strong. I still have a fair amount of makeup on my skin. So yeah, all right, gonna check in later. Bye. I think I'm in focus. I'm not 100% sure because I've been reading and my eyes are terribly out of focus. All right, anyway, so doing my final check-in for the day. It is 11:37, so about 20 minutes to midnight. I'm here to do my final check-in of the day, and as expected, the foundation is pretty much gone in spots. I still have a few patches here and there, but surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, I still have blush showing up on my face. So that's really awesome. My overall thoughts on this foundation, at this point in time, there's not really a whole lot left. I've been wearing it for well over 12 hours. I really enjoy this foundation, even though it comes across a little bit dewy when you first apply it. I really do like the fact that it is very skin-like. It does have a lot of longevity. One of the things that I forgot to mention in my earlier check-ins is that it does not settle into the lines of my face. And I know that because I've got this marionette line here, and it never drops in there. I never have that problem. With a traditional Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, it doesn't drop into that line, but I can definitely see that line. I mean, there's no hiding it. Let's be real. But this particular foundation really does a good job of keeping anything away from that line, or just, I don't know, it just doesn't emphasize that marionette line that I have. So any of the wrinkles that I have on my face, they don't get emphasized. The foundation itself lasts a good long while. It looks really, really good, you know, up to at least 8 hours. And generally, that's how many hours people will see my face. I guess if I had to do like a long day, you know, like I had to do work and then maybe an event or a party after work, I would feel comfortable wearing this foundation. I think that the longevity is good. My face isn't left feeling super, super oily or greasy throughout the day. I mean, even at this late hour, I can feel the grease some, but I've had worse. Trust me, I have had a lot worse. The makeup itself isn't breaking down like most foundations would. So I think in that respect, it has got some of the same qualities that the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation has. It's just not quite as long lasting. It's not nearly as heavy, which for me is a definite benefit. Does it compare to my Lancome Tinty Dole? No, I don't think so. It looks pretty good still, you know, at the end of the day, but it doesn't, my skin doesn't look as flawless as it will with the Lancome Tinty Dole Ultra Long Wear Foundation. That one has lasted me 16, 18 hours and still looks pretty darn good and doesn't feel super heavy like the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I do recommend the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Fresh Foundation simply because you get a really nice skin-like finish. It is a great everyday foundation, I think, which is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be the, I guess, the not so heavy sister to the Double Wear. I enjoy it and I do recommend it. If you don't mind having a slightly dewy finish, you can always set it with powder to kind of help get rid of that, but it does have some longevity, and I'm talking about combination skin. It does have longevity. It does look really nice on the skin. It does last a good long while. It doesn't settle into my lines and wrinkles. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up. So anyway, that is all for today. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to take my makeup off and get my day done so that I can go to sleep. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching. By the way, if you're not subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you are notified when I've got new video content up and you're assured that I will show up in your feed. And the notification will go to your mobile device as well. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you again so much. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.